Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione, the final round of Season 10 of Taco Tuesday in the top tier takes us to Le Castellet at Paul Ricard, where we have 4 drivers mathematically in contention who could take the championship tonight. The championship favourite is Zdeněk Vorkl in your picture. He goes into it 6 points clear over his nearest rival Nico Busov, with Mario Arsenio and Jeffrey Godefroy looking to snatch it from their noses. Got a few drivers who have yet to join the server at the moment, so don't assume that the numbers are what they're going to be for tonight. We're into the final quarter of an hour of practice, and so far Vorkl is setting the pace with Jared van Meulen, who won out comfortably at Zolder 7 days ago. He's looking to make it 2 wins in a row and end his season on high and put him in good stead for next season. And talking of which, he's actually just gone to the top with a 153.8. So he's actually 3/10 clear of Vorkl. The race win is not what he needs to be focusing on. He needs to focus on getting in front of Busov, Arsenio and Godefroy to snatch the title. In order for him to guarantee himself it, he would need to finish 3rd or higher, and that'll be enough. He has picked up 2 wins this season. Busov has not picked up a win yet, so it would be impossible for Busov to clinch it on countback if the points are tied. Arsenio does have a win to his name. Picks up another one this evening. Got 2 second places like what Vorkl has got. He's also got a 4th place like what Vorkl has got. And he's got a 6th. So for Arsenio to win the championship, we need to outscore Vorkl by at least 15 points. So a win, and if he was to win and get a faster start, he would need Busov to finish 5th or lower, and for Vorkl to essentially finish 8th or lower or something like that. As for Godefroy, he is 30 points behind, so he really would need to win and get fast as that. Vorkl to only get 10 points and no more than that. Say 10 points actually, it's no more than 9 points, because Godefroy's best finish has only been 5th, which he's achieved on 3 occasions. So for Vorkl to get only 9 points, he would need to essentially finish 22nd or lower, or to not finish. Of course, he would need other drivers to crumble. They are Busov and Arsenio. This is a very, very long shot for Godefroy. He'll give it a good old go. 3rd at the moment in practice so far. Have joined us. We do welcome you. Feel free to get involved in the live chat as well. Tom saying hello. Hello to you, Tom. Just over 10 minutes away from the end of practice. Should be expecting 23 drivers to join the lobby. Arsenio is one of them that's yet to join. Also got tiers 2 and 3 who are joining together tonight. 30 car grid. That'll be taking place in due course. In terms of what will be happening next season is anyone's guess really, in regards to how big the grids are going to be in terms of numbers. We don't know for certain what the calendars are going to be like yet. I'd like to think by October we'll get season 11 underway. It's the 8th round out of 8. A shorter campaign than what it has been for most seasons. Guys will just be happy to get this season over and done with. and they can look forward to the next campaign. We know for certain that Sean Cole, who is racing tonight, believe it or not, is not going to be retaining his championship. He has missed a number of races so far in the campaign. His best finish has been 7th in round 5, which will have been... Was that in Valencia he picked that result up? Or was it the round before? I think it was in Donington actually. It was the round before in Donington where Sean Cole picked up that result. But nothing's really gone right for him this time around. You'll just be hoping for the best result possible. He's currently running in P10. Brandon Glover has joined the server. Tom's just coming and saying today will be today without a huge crash he hopes. Well, I hope so too, because Solder was a crash fest, it has to be said, especially on that opening lap that saw so many cars affected and ruining other drivers' races. Volkel was in a collision of his own with Melvin Crows, which ended Crows' race on the spot, and Volkel had to come in for repairs. Which dropped him down to 9th position by the final race result. It's lucky actually, he didn't go down any further than that. I think that was saved by the fact that not too many cars actually finished the race. So as I've already mentioned, Volkel needs a podium finish to guarantee himself the title. Go for Mullen, who's got a race win under his belt already. Also getting the point for the fastest lap. The highest he could finish is 18th. Ben Milden, who is in server as well as Morgan Grace joins. Just waiting on Mauro Arsenio to join, hopefully within the next few minutes. Volkel, who's running in P2 at the moment. Craig Law is setting some solid pace in the 226 Ferrari. He's in 3rd place. Got to throw down to 4th, boost off 5th. It's Kobe Alerts, Melvin Crows, Damien van der Waal in 8th, Ben Milden 9th, and Sean Cole in the top 10. Will Freeman looking to go well here on home turf in the number 8 Mercedes AMG. Stuart Hudson, Fernando Ferreira, Pedro Possel, Will Rayner, Corona, Adrian Hanovich, Falco Fizzle, Josh Clayton. Josh Clayton is the first of those who's not settled that time so far. Luke Prentice, Brandon Glover, Morgan Grace, and Mauro Arsenio, who's just joined. So hopefully we'll see a lap or two from him between now and the end of practice. Busov has gone into 2nd place whilst we've been discussing that. He's posted a 1 minute 54.1 in the 95 Porsche. In regards to the teams in the Manufacturers' Championship, McLaren are, as we speak, 68 points clear over Ferrari. Now, they only account the best 2 results from each team between the drivers. So, if considering there's about 7 Ferraris in there, probably more than that, they only take account the best 2. So, for Ferrari to win it, they would need to outscore McLaren actually by 69 points at least. They ideally need to finish 1st and 2nd, and for McLaren to not really get anything, but they've got 4 McLarens in the running really, so, or 5 McLarens I should say. Wait and see what next season brings. Going for Milan, still setting the pace so far with less than 5 minutes to go. This does not determine the grid, in case you ask. Sov goes over the line. I don't think he actually improved his time from before. The line is actually earlier on in the straight compared to what it has been for Formula 1 every time they've come here. Temperature 29 degrees, track temperature 37. Thunderbolt over the line, and he does not improve his time or move up the order. Sweltering over here in the UK. I don't know if it has been over where you are based. A lot of the drivers who do race in this championship are from the UK, so I'm sure they'll be jumping on the same answer as what I've just given. Thought that in September really too much, maybe in across Europe, but not as much in the UK. But it has been very, very hot in the UK today. It's expected to be throughout the week. Still setting the pace so far. Half minutes to go. This is looking to get a time on the board. I can say that Morgan Grace is out on track in the racing the Ferrari. We want to go through for a lap with Luke Prentice, because I'm sure he'll take us on a lap of this Paul Ricard track. So they come out of the Verrerie chicane up to fourth gear before approaching the hotel chicane. The apex, very curved, long curved apexes as well. Down to first gear, 80 kilometers an hour before you apply. Buckle once more through the right-hander and through campus and through straight onto the straight, the back straight. Now there's no chicane on this configuration for ATC, so we expect to see Luke Prentice go all the way up to sixth gear for approach C. And we should only expect him to lift off the throttle as opposed to applying the brake as much. Although I think he actually applied the brakes there. You can tell by how the rear tyres have locked there, and he's exceeded track limits. We'll stay with him until the lap is done, until we get one more go at it, or Luke, before this session is over. We'll go straight into qualifying. He's picked up a podium already this season. That was at Brands Hatch. It's a fantastic effort. I think he's done a better season than I expected him to. I know some weeks the grids haven't been as high as we hoped to have seen. Luke is coming around to complete this lap and get on with one more and see if he can get a lap time on the board. It's showing that he's got a time there, but I'm not sure if that actually counted because he exceeded track limits. No, it didn't count, so he'll get one more go at it. Being 10 seconds to go, I think he's actually pulling off because he's made a mistake at turn 2. That's his session done. Ferreira going over the... well, it's actually coming into the pits is Ferreira. So that's his session done. Got a couple of cars on circuit. I think Will Rayner is one of them. He's looking to end his season on a high. '19th in the championship. He's only missed 2 races. His best finish has been 8th, which came in Austin. 17th so far in this practice session, and looking to as high as possible in the standings. It's on 73 points. To get a maximum out of tonight, the maximum finish he could end up in the championship is 12th. Rayner decides to go for the pit lane. That's his session done. Here's Brandon Glover, the number 69 Lamborghini. It is done, and qualifying is underway here at Paul Ricard. 23 drivers going for pole position. Who's going to get the first advantage? Well, not Zdeněk Volk, who's got onto the circuit first. It may be Kobe Alerts who's go out in front of him. Might be mistaken. It's the 22. I think that will be Stuart Hutchinson. Minutes isn't so long, and they don't have a lot of time to dawdle around and get track position they need and the fast time they need to get up as high the field as possible. Know who you are predicting to win the title this evening. Ricard is hot as always, as it tends to be. It is in the south of France after all. It's situated outside the city of Marseille. Ricard, host of the French Grand Prix, or previous host of the French Grand Prix. Four times in 5 years before it fell off the calendar for this year for Formula 1. In terms of the number of times the French Grand Prix has been held at Paul Ricard as a World Championship race, occasions it's hosted a Formula World Championship Grand Prix event. For the French Grand Prix, seen Hutchinson on a lap at the moment. That's Farclough for Pizzle who's ahead of him, who's on an out lap. And Hutchinson will have Volkel right behind him. He knows that Volkel is faster than he is. Going to pick up the pace and get on with it here without needing to slow down. Stroll straight. One driver in the pit lane at the moment, and that's the number 46, which is Ben Milden. I think he's waiting for a gap in the traffic before he ventures out. Stuart Hutchinson goes into tonight. Total of 62 points. There was a 5-point deduction he had for failing to turn up after checking in that he would turn up for round 4, which was in Austin. Nice, he can end up of tonight is 13th. Going towards the line now for his first timed lap. He'll be beaten by Zdeněk Volkel, but by how much? So 154.5 for Volkel, a 155.5 for Hutchinson. Kobe Alerts goes into P2 in the 702 Ferrari. Then we've got Damien van der Waal third. Mervyn Kroes goes up to 4th place, 8/10 off pole. Jared Vermeulen goes to provisional pole, 154.0. But don't be surprised to see the lap times come down as the track continues to pick up. Adrian Hanovic in P7 in the Porsche. Got the 226 going over the line. That's Craig Law with 154.5. Law ahead of Volkel. on his first effort. What about the other championship contenders? Arsenio is coming towards the end of his lap. He needs to get ahead of Volkel in this qualifying session here. Goes over the line, and it's only good enough. I don't think he actually... I think his lap time might be invalidated actually, so Arsenio needs to go again. Busov in the Porsche, he's coming towards the line now. Is this a lap time that is good enough to even get on the board here? And if so, can he go ahead of Volkel? The answer is no. Got some work to do from that. Number 69 coming through, that is Brandon Glover. Lamborghini. What's this lap time going to be for him here? And the answer is not a lap time. Not a valid one anyway. He stays where he is. Volkel, who's coming around to complete his second time lap. I don't know if he's been on the pace on this one. He's ahead of Hutchinson. But this lap time for Volkel needs to push him onto the front row to give himself all the buffer he needs. And this lap time is good enough to put him on the front row. Ahead of Law by only 15 thousandths of a second. But he's up a position from before. Morgan Grace is 5th. Velvet Crow 6th. We've got 5 Ferraris in the top 6. Got Busov, who's out on circuit as we speak. Paul Freeman is also out on track, and he's just gone over the line, going up to 9th place. Busov is a driver we need to focus on, as well as Mauro Arsenio. Arsenio, in fact, is further around the circuit, and he's coming towards the last corner, although I think he might have backed out of this lap to make sure he's got track position. Godefroy, as we speak. Has he got a time on the board so far? Yes, he has, and he's gone up to the front row. Volkel's back down to 4th place, behind Law and Godefroy. So Godefroy is ahead of Law and Volkel. Busov is coming to the line. I think he's backed out of this lap, and he'll need to go again. Will the Croatian. Comes then. Busov may get a time on the board. He actually goes to P7 with the lap he's done there. But he's not ahead of his championship rival, Zdeněk Volkel. Busov is over 2 tenths behind him. Volkel in 4th, Busov in 7th. Rainier's in 10th place. He's done a solid effort so far. Ben Milden's out on track. Sean Cool, the reigning champion, won't be after tonight. He's also on track. Brandon Glover hasn't got a time on the board yet. Go to Mauro Arsenio as he is on a lap, presumably. Long straight. He's coming towards the right-hander of Scene. Mr. Bose say that he's coming through a long hairpin. Godefroy is down to 3rd place now because Melvin Crows has gone up to P2. Melvin Crows, who had a torrid time last week in Zolder after being taken out by Volkel at the last chicane, the Jackie X chicane, otherwise known as. Looking to make up for that here so far, and he's in P2. Arsenio, who's at the back because he's got no time on the board, needs to get a time now, really. Starts at the back of the grid. It's going to be too much of a task, really, to challenge the championship favourite. He's gone up into 8th place and ahead of Busov. So at least that's something to be positive about. We've seen boards and traffic cones being bashed around on the circuit. Milden has no interest in that. He goes up into 12th position. Sean Cool on circuit. Brandon Glover in 23rd, the only driver yet to get a time on the board, but he's coming through the last corner now. And is this going to be a time on the board for him? He has impressed at times this season, has Brandon. And he's gone up to 19th position here. So, for what we've seen so far, Jeffrey Godefroy is the highest of the championship contenders in 3rd place. Volkel is 5th. Arsenio 8th. and Busov 9th. Jared Vermeulen on pole by 4 tenths with a little over 5 minutes to go. Now what is Volkel up to here? Don't know for certain whether he is on a lap. And stays out of the way. Volkel needs an improvement here. Godefroy really isn't that much of a threat to him. Godefroy needs a miracle tonight. So the two that Volkel is focusing more on are Busov and Arsenio. Here he comes. Volkel over the line, goes onto the front row. That was what he needed. Volkel goes back onto the front row ahead of Kroos, Godefroy and Law. Arsenio and Busov both need to respond to that. They need to get up there if they have any hope of threatening Volkel for this championship. Arsenio going to the line. He doesn't go up the order, unfortunately, stays in P8. And Law's gone over the line, he doesn't go up, unfortunately. Kroos has gone over the line, he doesn't go up either. Vermeulen fastest then by less than 4 tenths. I think he's more or less safe with his pole position at the moment, because I don't think anyone else is going to make up that much time to deprive him of that. Not even Volkel. Busov is through turn 11. So Busov coming through. Yeah. Improvement. Volkel on the front row now with him back in 9th. To pull a rabbit out of the bag here. Or out of the hat, I should say. And he doesn't go up the order with the latest attempt. Arsenio and Godefroy on nose to tail at the moment. Both eager to impress. Arsenio, who's a race winner in Donington. Turn to winning ways and hoping for a championship that comes with it. And the Portuguese find some time in this last phase of qualifying. 8 tenths away from pole. Can he reduce that? He can reduce it, but it's only good enough for P8. And he's posted the same time as what Morgan Grace has done, but since that Grace had posted that first, he goes up the order. And we just saw, is that Godefroy's just gone up the order? Was that Craig Law that's gone up the order? I think it might be Craig Law actually, who's gone up to 4th place. Kroos in P3. Volkel's got the gap down between himself and Vermeulen, so over 2 tenths. And we've got 2 minutes remaining, so we've got one final opportunity for drivers to go out there and complete their last attempts. But the 713 go over the line. That's Caruana, who was in 23rd place. Luke Prentice is up to 15th position from where he was earlier. Milden in 10th, behind Busov, who is on a lap. He'll get one more go after this one. No rain expected as far as we know. Here is the Croatian then, Nico Busov, coming through the last corner and onto the pit straight. Does he go up the order? And the answer is yes. He's up to P6. He's got one more go at it, but he just needs to be careful he doesn't get held up by anyone going into the first turn there. That looks like Ben Milden going through turn 1. He's just done a lap. I think he's going to stay out of the way of Busov, who's coming through. He needs to do so, because if he's not on the lap, then it's not for him to get in the way of other drivers. Going into the last phase of qualifying then. Volkel has started his last attempt, as has Vermeulen. Although he's gone off the circuits for Vermeulen, so he's not going to improve on his time. Anyone's game for pole then. Marvin Kroos coming through the last turn with less than 30 seconds to go. Can he improve on 4th position? Answer that question is no, and he's down to 5th because Craig Law has improved and Law has done his part for qualifying. Busov's trying to get through on Milden there, who's just stayed out of the way. Arsenio is not going to improve on 9th, so his session is done. Godefroy is on a lap at the moment. He's further behind, so we want to stay with Busov because he could be the man to knock Volkel down the order here, or at least get close to him. He is close, but he'll want to be closer. Checker flag is waved. These are the last lap times that are being posted. Nico Busov, what can he do with this last attempt? Can he do enough to get onto the second row and get alongside Volkel here? Here he comes. Vitally important this. He improves his time, but it's not enough to move him up the order. P6 or lower is where Busov ends up. Volkel's done his lap. And Godefroy is on a lap at the moment. Kobe Alerts is also coming towards the last corner. Don't suppose he's going to improve for this last attempt. No, he's coming into the pits. And I think that might be his session done. Go to Godefroy then. Last corner. Right in the curves. To the line he comes. Godefroy goes. Only P4. He didn't improve on that last attempt. Morgan Grace improves his time ever so slightly. He goes up to P8. And we've got more times coming through. I think Puzzle is coming into the pits. And that is qualifying finished. At the end of it, it is Jared Vermeulen, unsurprisingly, grabbing pole position for the second week running. Craig Law alongside him on the front row with a nice effort in the 226 Ferrari. We've got Zdeněk Volkel, the championship favourite, in 3rd place alongside Jeffrey Godefroy, who needs a miracle to snatch the title from his nose. Melvin Kroos and Nico Busov are on row 3, followed by Kobe Alerts and Morgan Grace. Mauro Arsenio will be disappointed with 9th. He's got a lot of work to do. Have any hope of taking the championship. Ben Milden in 10th place. We've got Damien van der Wal and Brandon Glover on row 6, followed by Fernando Ferreira and Sean Cull. Will Freeman in 15th alongside Josh Clayton. Then we've got Will Rayner and Luke Prentice on the 9th row. Adrian Hanovich and Fogler Vizzle on row 10. Stuart Hutchinson and Pedro Postel on row 11. And at the back on his own is Caruana. So that is the grid for the race. We are due to start in around about 5 minutes time. There will of course be a formation lap and a rolling start. So I'm going to take the moment to go get myself a drink and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. We are then for the finale. Then looking to make it 2 wins in a row and end his season on a high. Vorkle will just be focusing on getting a podium finish out of this. If he achieves that, does not matter where his title contenders or title rivals finish, he will be champion. Ricard, who has been rather unlucky this season with some of the incidents that he's been involved in. He has finished every race so far. Best result being 3rd in Valencia a couple of rounds ago. Highest he could finish is 4th. Bit of a battle with Ben Milden at the moment. Ben Milden starting in 10th place. We'll let you know, it's an hour race with a mandatory pit stop included. They do not have to refuel, but they do have to change tyres. Rain is expected. Straightforward race. Hopefully no incidents. Say, keep an eye out on track limits as well. Given the nature of this circuit, we have seen drivers in the past receive track limit penalties and for speeding in the pit lane as well. That's another one that can catch the drivers out here on this Paul Ricard track. First opened in 1970 by the man himself, Paul Ricard. Sadly no longer with us. Whilst it may not be hosting Formula 1 nowadays, is home of the 4 hours of the 4 hours of Castellet for European Le Mans, World Challenge Europe, FIM EWC, that's motorbikes in case you're wondering, FFSA GT, that is French GT. So it's been home for junior single-seater racing, most particularly French Formula 4, Italian Formula 4 race here as well, as do the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. They have raced here. I think that the Euro Formula Open have done so as well. Now the configuration that is being used on ACC is 5.77 kilometers, 3.5 miles. Believe it or not, Nick de Vries holds the race lap record. LMP2 3 years ago. Let's run down on the grid then for the final round of Tier 1 in Taco Tuesday, Season 10. Vermeulen on pole, with Craig Law alongside. Then we've got Zdeněk Vogel in 3rd place, with Jeffrey Godefroy keeping him company. Melvin Kroes and Nico Busov are 5th and 6th, followed by Kobe Alerts and Morgan Grace. Mauro Arsenio in 9th place ahead of Ben Milden. Demian van der Waal and Brandon Glover are on row 6. Fernando Ferreira and Sean Kull are 13th and 14th places respectively. Will Freeman and Josh Clayton are next, followed by Will Rayner and Luke Prentice. Adrian Hanovich and Fargal Papizzle make up the top 20, ahead of Stuart Hutchison and Petra Postle, with Crow Warner bringing up the rear in 23rd place. Is just back in the pack up actually, because he won't want to get too far in front. There is a point around the lap where they need to form up in their rows of 2 for the rolling start. Now, Vorkel just needs to make sure he keeps his car out of trouble at the start. If he does that, he'll leave himself in a vital position. It's not that he needs to finish in front of Busov, it's the fact that he needs to finish on the podium to guarantee himself the title, even if Busov was to win the race. Get fastest lap. Joe Vermeulen. What would it have been like if he was actually in the car from the start of the season up until now? He would have been most definitely the contender for the championship, given his pace and domination of Zolder. Just gone through to Beausset, and they're coming towards Bendor, Dolaban. Or a Pont. Ready for the start. Our race. Probably looking at around, I would probably say 31 laps at most, considering the pit stops. Once everyone is all on the straight, we'll just be waiting for that green flag to fly, and that is when we'll start going at racing speed. Here we go then for the last round. Who's going to take the cycle and who's going to win the race here at Paul Ricard? Vermeulen to your right, Law in the green livery Ferrari to your left. We'll wait for the green flag to fly, and we are racing at Paul Ricard. Vermeulen seems to have got away well. Look at Vaucluse looking to make his way through between the pair of Law and Vermeulen as they come towards the very chicane. Turns 1 and 2. Vermeulen should stay in the lead and does so. Law is in second place. Vorkel almost looks like he got tagged there at the start. Godfrey having to go through the runoff area. Rejoins, but Vorkel so far has kept himself out of trouble. Look at Busov though. He's come through from 6th and he looks like he's got up into 4th position. He needs to get ahead of Vorkel at some point, but it's a great start from the Croatian in the 95 Porsche. Vermeulen leads then. Law is second. Next Vorkel, Busov, and in 5th place, looking to see who that is. That's Melvin Kroes in the Ferrari 233. Jeffrey Godfrey down to 6th position. Arsenio up 2 places in the McLaren. In 7th place, it's Kobe Letts, Demi van der Waal, and Will Freeman getting off to a brilliant start in the Mercedes AMG on home turf, and he's in 8th position. But we were looking at the battle for 3rd place because Busov is in the slipstream of the McLaren of Zdeněk Vorkel. It doesn't look like he's close enough to have a go just yet, although he may think about it as they come up towards scene. And Busov not going for it just yet. He may have tagged the McLaren up ahead, but he stays behind. There was a cone being knocked around. Busov slots in behind Vorkel and doesn't quite go for the move just yet. Now, Vorkel will know that Busov has everything to gain here. Vorkel has everything to lose, really. So if Busov gets in front of Vorkel, that won't be the end of it, because, as I said before, Vorkel just needs to finish on the podium, but 4th place won't be good enough if Busov gets the win and the fastest lap. Right on board with Busov as they end the first lap. Vermeulen leads them by over a second over Law, with Vorkel in 3rd place and Busov not far behind. We see a spin at the back there. Can't quite tell who that is. That Adrian Hanovic has gone for a spin. It is, you know, he's had another race to forget. He was involved in the first lap accident at the start in Zolder 7 days ago, and he's found himself in trouble again, and that's Josh Clayton. I think he was the one that ran into him, unfortunately. Josh Clayton has lost a bundle of time as well. That's a shame there for Josh Clayton, because he finished higher up last week and he's not got off to the best of starts here. Now we'll go back to the battle for 3rd place. This is what we need to be watching, because if Busov gets in front of Vorkel, that could shake things up later on in the race. And we also can see Arsenio putting Godfrey under pressure in the battle for 6th position. He needs to get in front as soon as he can here, does Arsenio. We'll ride on board with him because he can get into the slipstream and Godfrey and go for a move into the right-hander of Scene. But which way is he going to go? Is he going to go to the inside or to the outside? Looks like he's going to the right-hand side of the BMW, and Arsenio should move his McLaren up into 6th position, and he does so as they go through sector 2. Arsenio goes in front then. Important move there for the Portuguese. Busov was not able to get in front of Vorkel on that occasion. Don't want to take too many risks at this stage, but it's important that he does get in front. And given the pace we saw from Vermeulen last week, he's going to have to put Vorkel under enormous pressure here. But as I've already mentioned, track limits can catch up with any of these drivers later on in the race. And given the nature of Paul Ricard, track limit penalties are very much possible. They come through the last turn to complete the second lap of the race. Vermeulen stays ahead as we look to the battle for third place. Arsenio in front of Godefroy and pulling away, but he's got a bit of ground to make up on Kroos in 5th. Riding back on board with Busov as they go through turn 2. And Vorkel knows that he does not need to be feeling too nervy at this point. He knows the championship is theirs for the taking. It's his to lose. As it stands with the drivers in the positions that they are in, Vorkel will take the title by 8 points over Nico Busov. Arsenio will finish 3rd with Godefroy in 4th position. Those are the same positions as what they were at the beginning of tonight. Long way to go yet though, we're only on lap 3. Got the pit stops to go. Never know with incidents later on in the race when things start to really hot up. I think we've already lost a driver from this race, and I think that might be Adrian Hanovich, who's called it a day already. So his race is done and his season. The first retirement from the race as Busov slides his way through scene. Law runs wide at that same corner. The drivers just need to be very careful. They don't exceed track limits too many times. Otherwise, drive-through penalties are what are going to be dished out, and you can lose a lot of time around Paul Ricard. And I do mean a lot. Is the gap between Law in 2nd and Vorkel in 3rd. Law doing a good job so far, but he has been in trouble in the past for exceeding track limits. That happened to him at Donington, and it happened to him in Austin. Hopefully it's not 3 strikes and you're out, that type of thing. Arsenio continuing to close in on Kroos. It's a couple of seconds back. To know what strategies these drivers are thinking of doing. How abrasive this track is, I'd imagine the undercut is going to be the way to go. So if Busov is going to get in front of Vorkel, he'll probably need to essentially do an undercut and try and make him cover it. Just to play some mind games with him. Vermeulen has the fastest lap and the race lead, so if he was to keep that, Busov would need to finish 2nd, then for Vorkel to finish 6th or lower really, able to go in the way of the Croatian. Come down the back straight once more. Want to look further back to see if there's anything else happening. I can tell you Damien van der Waal is having a decent race so far. He's behind Godefroy in 8th position. Godefroy, who's continuing to drop back from Arsenio, who got by him. Rose is all over the back of Busov in the battle for 4th place. So about to see if there's anything going on. Well, I can tell you that Will Freeman's dropped back a couple of positions from what we've seen from him earlier on. That's Brandon Glover about to lose a position to Stuart Hodgson. Hodgson go through up to 14th place. Vorkel, I think he might be in front. Is he in front of Law? No, he's not. No. But a 4-car battle for 2nd place is really hotting up now. Vermeulen continuing to stroke along in the lead. Eight minutes into this race, 4 laps done. 0.9 seconds is the gap between Vermeulen in 1st and Law in 2nd. Hotel chicane. Vocal, as I mentioned, won't want to take too many risks. We'll ride on board with him as they come through. The right-hander, that's known as Campus Corner. As I know. Now onto the Mistral Straight. For an overtake now. Law is almost reading into the slipstream here. Vocal closing in bit by bit by bit. Is he close enough to have a go though round the outside? Here he goes though. Round the outside goes Zdenek Vocal. This could be an important one for the championship later on. Round the outside goes Zdenek Vocal, but Law is able to cover him off. That was great defensive driving there from the man from Northern Ireland, but Zdenek Vocal wasn't having any of it. Law stays in front, and all of this battling is allowing Vermeulen to pull further clear of the rest. That's exactly how he'll want it to go, really. Vermeulen continuing to lead out in front. Senio is closing in on Crows a little bit. Getting stuck behind each other in the battle for second place. Now Busov is actually closer to Volkel than Volkel was to Law. And I think we could well see an overtake being made here. When Busov had to lift off the throttle as they came towards turn 1, and he'll have to stop back in again. He's trying to take a different line to what Volkel is doing. And Volkel's a little bit out of shape, but was able to gather it all up through turn 2. Busov wasn't able to get all the momentum he needed to pull alongside. Through the chicane they go through. Now, is Busov going to make an overtake on Vogel at some point? Busov is behind Vogel as they go onto the Mistral Straight. We'll ride on board with Busov to see how close he's getting to his championship rival. And actually, Vogel is pulling away more than the Porsche. He's actually closing in. If that Porsche is lacking some straight line speed, or whether he's carrying more fuel on board than what Volkel is doing. Because of all this, Kroos is actually closing in the Ferrari. Senio is closing in further behind. I can see Van der Waal thinking about a move on Godefroy for P7. So over 4 seconds is the gap now as Vermeulen continues to pull away. Vogel in third position. Gets into a tangle that will change the situation in the championship for sure. Turn 1 they come. Vogel is not able to close in this time. Don't think Busov is able to pounce this occasion. I will tell you that Arsenio's right behind Kroos to get a move on here if he's to have any hope of taking the championship. It's a long shot for Arsenio in all honesty, but you never know. You never ever know. Again. Far apart from each other to think about making an overtake. And Van der Waal is right behind Godefroy in the battle for P7. So into the slipstream comes the Dutchman. Looking to make amends on the Belgian ahead. He's looking to the outside. He is, you know, but I don't think he's going to be able to make up the overtake. They very nearly touched through scene, and all of that has allowed Kobe Alerts to pull alongside, but Van der Waal was able to cut across in time and fend him off on this occasion. Galaban they come. Orkle and Busov get in front of Craig Law here for second place. Busov knows it's important he gets a move done on Vorkel. Go. Curbs. Busov getting a little kick of oversteer as he rode over them. To the hotel chicane. Turns 3 and 4. 5. Now 6. Got a car in the pits at the end of this lap. That will be Farquhar for Bizzle, and that will be an early stop for him. 14 minutes into this one. So not able to get a move done just yet. Arsenio. Go further back. I think Van was too far back to make a move on Godefroy, so they both come through. Milden and Freeman battling over 11th place. Freeman going side by side with the Brit. Lots back in, so he decides not to go for it on this occasion. Your race leader looking very comfortable. Stands with the positions as they are. Vorkel will be champion by 8 points over Busov. Arsenio will be third and Godefroy fourth. Smart. I think Kroos is right behind Busov. He's fancying his chances, as is Arsenio, and that's Farquhar for Bizzle has just come out of the pits there and thankfully stays out of the way of the leaders. That didn't put any of them off. It probably didn't do. To turn 5. Gap is 5 seconds between Vermeulen and Law. Not seeing too many changes up front on Dyson happening. Closest we are seeing, probably in the battle for 4th position, because Kroos is trying to make a move on Busov. Busov didn't have a good line coming out of the first sector there. He almost lost the position. Kroos went for the move, and Arsenio is looking to get an overtake completed here. Goes right round the outside of Kroos. Is he able to pull it off? I don't think he is, you know. Kroos stays in 5th place. Arsenio will have to settle in behind. Wait once more. Arsenio may be able to get a good line off the last corner. The pit straight Vorkel is right behind Law now as well, or at least he was. Now Arsenio is trying to make a pass on Kroos in the battle for 5th place. Turn 5 they go through. Busov, Kroos, Arsenio fighting over 4th position. There's a little bit of a gap between Busov and Vorkel. Clayton's in the pits, and there's a drive-through penalty for Luke Prentice, and he's the first driver to fall foul of track limits. He's running in 16th position, but that will pretty much become last. He's done that. And now we are seeing Melvin Kroes go for a move on Nico Busov round the outside. And I think this is a change of position. Kroes is through. What about Arsenio? Is he going to get through at the same time? Down the inside goes Mauro Arsenio. And he's through ahead of Busov. So Arsenio takes fifth position. Busov loses 2 positions in a space of a few hundred metres. That is a bad blow to his championship host. Arsenio is through. He'll be happy with that. Busov won't be. He's got to hope that something happens to Vogel up front. Now, I don't know if Busov will be aware of this. He does not need to take any risks. Be happy with the situation as it is. Wouldn't be at all surprised if Busov decided to head for the pits and try and go for an undercut, but it's probably too early at this point in the race to even think about doing that. Busov down to 6th position. Arsenio may not be able to win the championship, but he could possibly get 2nd place. As it stands, it's still Busov's. Zdeněk Vogel, who's led the championship all the way since the first race. Stroll straight he comes. Prentice is in to get his drive-through penalty served, and now we are seeing Vogel think about an overtake on Law. Round the outside he goes, and is this a change for 2nd place? The answer is no. Vogel stays behind for now. Thinks about a move going into Debose, but Law isn't having any of it. Arsenio is looking to make a move on Kroes very soon, as Vogel is trying to do on Craig Law. And 1. Arsenio in 5th position, Kroes ahead. Go on board with Arsenio. Now turn 2, there may be a bit of dirt on the windscreen, but that won't put him off too much. Very interesting race so far. I wonder what the time is over at Paul Ricard at the race. It's 1:57 PM as the time lapse goes twice as fast as what it will be in real life, so we're not expecting sunset. On board with Arsenio again on the Mistral straight. Is this going to be a change for position? I don't think it will be on this lap. Let's see how much he's gaining on Kroes with the slipstream. And now we are seeing Vogel thinking about a move on the Law again. Round the outside goes Vogel. Not through yet at the moment. I think Prentice is in for his first stop of the race, and there's an off. Someone has gone off the chart. Then that's Van der Waal. He's come together with Kobe Alerts. They've both dropped down the order. They're not in contention for the championship. That's good news for Jeffrey Godefroy, because that's one less thing for him to worry about. And I don't think he's got anything to worry about those behind. It's more about what's going on ahead of him. That makes even bigger of a gap. And now we are seeing a battle at the moment. What's this? This is Vogel, who's dropped back from Law. He's actually been overtaken by Kroes and Arsenio. So Vogel maybe dropping down to 5th place here. as Kroos and Arsenio get through. They go side by side through someone to Arsenio and Vorkel. Over the coast goes the Portuguese. Vorkel stays in front, but Kroos has got through. Kroos goes up to third place then, ahead of Vorkel. Arsenio needs to get through. And even if he does get through, that won't bother Vorkel too much. His nearest rival is still behind him. Now we are right on board with Arsenio as they come onto the Mistral straight once again. Running wide again, so they just need to be careful about track limits, those lot, so that can catch up with them later. There's Arsenio running in 5th position. Vorkel in 4th. No change at the moment between Arsenio. You can see Godfrey sliding wide there. They've all been doing that throughout the race. Be doing that too much, obviously. Those who are in the pits have just done their stops, so I'd like to think they'll rejoin in front of Vermeulen. Kobe Alerts and Damon van der Waal, who picked up damage following their collision. Imagine will fall down the order as a result. As you can see, Arsenio thinking about a move. Puts Vorkel in a tight spot for the last corner. He'll get good acceleration come out the last corner, will Arsenio. But Vorkel reads into it and keeps his nose in front. Busov comes in, so he's going for the undercut, is the Croatian. He needs this. He's got to make this strategy work. And I think he'll get out in some clean air when he rejoins. Sean Cole also in. Now what will the likes of Vorkel and Arsenio respond with? They are with the positions. Vorkel will still take the championship. It's not over yet. The gap that Vermeulen has over the others is nearly 9 seconds as he approaches the second sector. Busov has done his stop now and he's towards pit exit. Join in front of Kobe Alerts. Rose in P3, Vorkel in P4, and it's Arsenio and Godefroy. Busov has rejoined in some clean air. That's good news for him. He can make the most of that and get in front of his championship rivals. I think Vorkel will want to respond by coming in. Approach the halfway point of this race. Approaching the end of lap 15. Lap 14 rather. Not come into the pits. Off on his own there. Make up, get the hammer down. Flying in laps as Ben Milden comes in from P8. 6 seconds between Vermeulen and Craig Law. Rose in 3rd, Vorkel in 4th. It's Arsenio and Godefroy who's closing a little bit now. Back into the fray. Running in a fine 9th position, bearing in mind some of those have already pitted. It's been a fine race so far for Stewart. 6 Ferrari. Ben Milden in the pits. Rayner doing the same. I think Luke Prentice has been in the pits for a long time, and I think that's pretty much his race done in all honesty. So that's the second driver to go from tonight's event. Busov, who's running in, well, was running in P16, is now in front of Ben Mulden. Time that Busov has been posting at the moment. I'd like to see what times he is posting, but I don't think we're able to get access to that information, unfortunately. And Craig Law is in the pits, as is Jeffrey Godefroy. Volkel and Arsenio stay out. So Busov, he needs to get in front of Godefroy and Law. Law, I think, will be a tall order. Will Freeman also coming in. Volkel stays out there with Melvin Crows in front. But if Busov gets in front of Volkel, that could spell a little bit of trouble for Volkel. It will make it more uncomfortable for him. Law has done his stop. Whereabouts is he? Going towards the pit exit now. Not off the limits yet. Won't be quite up to full racing speed. We'll want to go back to Busov. He's actually quite far away behind his Busov, so Law will stay in front. I think Godefroy will get in front too. So in fact, Godefroy has got in front of Busov. That's bad news for the Croatian. He really needed to get in front of both those two. Now, what will Volkel have in response to that? And Arsenio. Halfway through the race now. We're on lap 16. His lead is 10 seconds. All the time he needs. I think he might be coming into the pits actually, is Vermeulen. Now what about De Crows, Volkel and Arsenio? I think they're coming in. So Arsenio makes a late decision there to come into the pits. He needs to outdo Volkel and Crows. Slim chances of the championship alive here. There is Craig Law. There's no way he'll go into the race lead. May still try and get back in front of Volkel here. Morgan Grace taking over the race lead for now in Ferrari. But it's this Ferrari we want to have a look at. Craig Law came in not too long ago. Hasn't left his box yet, but he has now. Law is coming through the last corner, but Vermeulen, I think, has done enough to keep hold of the race lead. There he is, look. Ahead there, that looks like Josh Clayton, who's down a lap, and Law will go back in front. And is that Arsenio in front? I think Arsenio's got in front of Volkel. He has done. He's trying to beat Melvin Crows into turn one. They go side by side through turn one. They need to keep it clean through. Crows is in front. Arsenio keeps his foot in it though. Through turn three. Arsenio breaks that a little bit later. He'll have the high ground into four. Crows runs out wide. He'll have the inside into five, but I think Arsenio's done enough here to hold him off. He runs wide onto the rumble strips. And he's got in front, I think, but he's far from over. And Busov is involved in this. I think Godefroy, Godefroy's in front of all this lot, but we want to look at Busov because he needs to get ahead of Volkel here, and this could be crucial. Right into the slipstream he goes. And if he's lucky, he might even get in front of Crows and Arsenio if this all goes for him. But Zdeněk Volker's trying to get in front. He needs to be careful about track limits. He won't want to be passed him by going off the racetrack. But Busov is in front of Volkel. And now he's trying to get in front of Arsenio at the same time. But he will not want to give Volkel track position back. Just 2 drivers yet to pit now, and they are those in the top 2 positions, Morgan Grace and Pedro Postel. As it stands with the positions as they are, Zdeněk Vorkl will still take the championship by 4 points. Now Arsenio will want to be moving up the order, as will Godefroy. Arsenio is now in front of Kroos in 6th position, but will be 4th once Grace and Postel come in. It's game on for the championship, most realistically. So Kroos is in front of Arsenio again. So the top 3 in the championship are in 7th, 8th and 9th positions on track. Arsenio is desperate to get in front of Kroos now. He needs to get in front here and start closing in on Craig Law. Fastest start point I think is out of reach. Oh, the fastest start points are out of reach. So it's all down to where they finish on circuit here. That is what will decide the title. Come down the Mistral straight. Morgan Grace coming in. Vorkl thinking about a move on Busov, but he won't do it on this occasion, I doubt it. Scene. Careful about running wide again, as I've already mentioned. Godefroy running in what will be P3 once the stops are done. And we've seen Postel go in now, so Bill will go through and will be in the relative positions. So now in the slipstream of Kroos as they come onto the pit straight. Grace coming out of the pits, troubling these lot. Well, looking very, very good for Zdeněk Vorkl, even if he is behind Busov. But if Busov makes up 2 more positions, end up tying on points, but Vorkl will still take it on countback. So Busov needs to get a move on here. Vorkl remains in P7, then Busov needs to finish in P3, and that is a long way. And to do that, he needs to get in front of Arsenio, Kroos and Godefroy. Unless he can try and go for a fastest lap, but I think that'll be even tougher. Into the slipstream of Arsenio. Problem is Arsenio was in the slipstream of Kroos ahead. Busov will have a better exit, and there's Arsenio running wide. That may be the opportunity, but Busov has to lift off the throttle as they went through Dubose. Vorkl is right back in the gearbox of the Porsche again. See, the drivers are taking different lines, and Craig Law has got the gap down to 2.3 seconds between him and Jared Vermeulen. So the gap is a lot less than what it was before the pit stops. Game on for the race win, it seems. Though Vermeulen won't be too worried. Moment in time. "22 minutes to go, and we've got around about 11 laps remaining, maybe 12. I'd probably say we've got about 12 laps to go, depending on how quick the leader can get round before the clock reaches 0. There's Arsenio, right behind Melvin Kroos. Through 5 and 6. Do the back straight, they come, the Mistral straight. No way, I don't think he's going to get in front of Crows on this occasion. Sonia will sit in behind for now. He might get a slipstream off the Ferrari ahead. See the slipstream effect there. It's getting better and better and better, but he's not able to make a move at the moment. He pulls out to the left, but he's not going to do it into scene. Crows lifts off the throttle, stops the momentum of the McLaren. Now they go through to Bose. Right-hander. Antonio looking to make a move, but Crows is not having any of it. It's very much game on. Who's going to win it, Paul Ricard, and who's going to take the title? 2.7 seconds is the gap between the top two. But 4th place is hotting up. Vorkel just needs to make no mistakes here. And even if he just ends up where he is now, that will do it. That will do it. And he's got a comfortable gap behind with Sean Cull in 8th. Oh, there's a tap there and Arsenio's off! Arsenio in the wall! And that's pretty much the end of his championship hopes. He came together with Melvin Crows, he tried an audacious manoeuvre into turn 1 and it didn't work. Well, Melvin Crows has dropped down 2 positions, I think. That will allow Busov and Vortel through. Now Busov is up 2 positions, he'll be happy with that, but the problem is Vortel behind has also gained 2 positions. So Arsenio will not be very pleased with that. Although he may feel that Crows jumped across on him. Can get back into that fight. He's over 6 seconds behind. And Vorkel looks to have got through on Busov as they come towards scene. And he's up into 4th place. Taking another step closer to that championship. And Craig Law has got the gap down to 2.2 seconds between himself and Vermeulen. The second set of tyres are playing into his hands nicely here for the man from Northern Ireland. Can he come away with a race win? It's Vorkel who's in front of Busov and in 4th position. As it stands, it will take the title by 8 points. Busov will be 2nd, Arsenio 3rd, and Godefroy 4th. Josh Clayton is back in the pits. I think this could well be a retirement for him. If that's so, then that's his day's work done. And, of course, the season. It's the 3rd driver to retire. We're on lap 22. Gap between Vermeulen in the lead and Law in 2nd is 2.3 seconds. Godefroy 6.5 seconds off 226 Ferrari. There is Vorkel running in 4th place ahead of Busov and Crows. I think Ben Milden is in front of Sean Cull now, as is Will Freeman. So Cull down 2 positions from the last time we saw. And this battle could get interesting. Not that it will have an impact on the championship. Battle on circuit nevertheless, as Freeman thinks about a move. Looks to the outside. And the number 8 Mercedes AMG go up into 8th position. He's almost pulling out from the slipstream and having to go back in again. And it just doesn't look like that Mercedes AMG's got all the straight line speed that it needs to move ahead. No change there. And Kroos is in front of Busov into 5th place. Kroos has done it. He's in front. And that's another blow to Busov's championship hopes. Vorkel can breathe a little more easily here. to bring the car home, and the title will be his. Another change, possibly, is if any of them get track limit penalties before this race is over. That could change it. If Volkel gets a track limits penalty, that will send him down the order, and that would more or less hand the championship over to Busov. So all he needs to do, Volkel, is just keep the car on the circuit. That's all he needs to do. And I will say that Josh Clayton has actually rejoined the race in 2 laps down in 21st position. Or is 2.6 seconds off the race lead. See a battle brewing up again by the looks of it. Now it looks like they've just spaced out a little bit more. We are beginning to see almost a 4-car battle for 8th between Milden, Freeman, Cull and Grace. Grace was pitted the later of those 4. Those fewer laps on the tyres that he's on may come into effect to his advantage. Like he's going to be able to close in enough to make a move at the moment. 15 minutes to go into the last quarter of the season finale at Paul Ricard. Looks like Joe Vermeulen is on his way to victory. Craig Law in a brilliant second place, well deserved as well, should he keep hold of it. The bigger picture is with this man. He's running in 4th position, doing all he needs to do. His championship rivals, Jeffrey Godefroy, who was the outside favourite going into tonight, he's not going to be taking the championship despite finishing ahead of Volkel. Busov running in 6th, he's not going to be taking the championship, and Arsenio is running in 7th following the contact with Melvin Crows at turn 1. He's not going to be taking the championship. The man in your picture in the 999 McLaren, he is the man who's set to take the championship. Get the hammer down though. Start pulling away a little bit. Four and a half seconds is the gap between him and Godefroy in 3rd. Further up ahead of Volkel is Godefroy. Craig Law is 2.6 off the lead. The gap is pretty much stagnated. So the gap is a lot closer than it was before the pit stops. Still no change in the battle for 8th position between Milden and Freeman, although they are going into combat. As Freeman looks to the inside a little bit, but Milden has read it and should remain ahead of the Mercedes AMG. Why they took the curbs too heavily is a car on circuit. Just the one driver who's been penalised for track limits, and that's Luke Prentice, who's no longer competing. Or 3 in the battle for 8th. Milden, Freeman and Cull. Started this 25th lap. I would say we've got 7 laps to go in this race. Championship is tantalisingly close for Zdeněk Volkel. Has already finished 4th once, and that was in round 3 at Brands Hatch. Right, so far tonight. He has 2. Go back to the battle for 8th place. Milden's holding up Freeman and Cull. Grace is getting in here, as will Kobe Alerts, despite the damage he suffered earlier in the contact with Demian van der Waal. I think van der Waal has been in the wars again. Not sure what's happened to him. He's not going around the circuit as quickly as he would normally be doing. He'll just want this race to be over sooner rather than later, really. Milden, Freeman, Cull, Grace and Alerts. 5-car battle for 8th position. Vogel's got the gap down to 3.8 seconds between him and Godefroy. See Freeman thinking about an overtake on Milden. As they come through over the line to start another lap. Brilliant tussle between Slot. Milden looking on course to seal. At the moment, with the points he's going to get, I think he'll just finish in front of Law, because if Law gets 38 points, finishing second, Milden picking up a total of 26. Gap would be 8 points between the two in the favour of Milden in the battle for 5th place. So Milden will be finishing in front of Law as it stands. This battle for 8th position could change it. Battle for the title may be all but sewn up. This battle turns to the battle for 5th place in the Drivers' Championship. Could be decided. Freeman looking to make a move on Milden this time, is right in the wheel traps. Right up to his gearbox, right in the slipstream. It's a matter of time before he pulls alongside. Does he go for it into scene? That fast right-hander that are coming through now doesn't quite go for it. I just don't think that car's got the straight line speed it really needs compared to the others. I think that's what has been letting the Mercedes AMG down. Waits behind. Melvin Crow's running in 5th place. Had a boost off. Has dropped back from the Dutchman. Craig Law's gap to Phil Millen's gone back up to 3.5. So Phil Millen has responded. Haven't got long left now. 5 laps to go here at Paul Ricard. By P3 had a forkle. 3.4 seconds was the margin at the beginning of the lap. Gap has come down to 3.3, so Vogel closing down the gap bit by bit. Back to the battle for 8th again. Another battle going on is between van der Waal and Glover over 14th. And van der Waal's continuing to drop back from Hutchinson. Van der Waal's carrying an issue. Fernando Ferrero is looking to get in on the act as well in the fight for that particular spot. We're on board with Will Freeman as he looks to make a move. It's a lot closer this time. That should be the opportunity. It's almost like he's bump drafting him there. I don't really understand why he's doing that when he should really be moving in front. Surely that's going to give Milden the advantage. Keeps doing that. That's going to allow the drivers behind to close in. So I don't understand what Freeman's trying to do here. Gone wide too quickly, and there's a penalty for Sean Cull for track limits, and that is something he'll have to take within the next 3 laps. Well, it's a shame that for Sean Cull, because it was running quite highly. And now we see Freeman make a move on Milden up the inside, having to ride over the curbs, and Milden is able to stay in front. Now Sean Cull knows that he'll need to pit in to get that drive-through sorted, and he goes. Well, he can't go in by the pit entry here, like it would be in real life now. Probably go in at the end of this lap and get it done. So that's Sean Cull in. He's only the 2nd driver to fall foul of track limits. Now this is the thing. Anyone that... If Borkel gets a track limits penalty. That will spell the end of his championship hopes, because Busov, who is running in 6th place, would gain all the positions he needs to snatch the title from him. Borkel will be haunted by that. I think Kull has stopped in the pits as well. I'm mistaken. I don't think he's actually continued. Might have done. Hasn't rejoined the circuit, so he stays. He's actually left the server now as well. So the reigning champion retires from the race, and of what's been a season to forget for him. Borkel's got the gap down between him and Godefroy to 2.1 seconds. Melvin Krow's in 5th place, 1.2 seconds behind him. So a long way back. The battle for 8th is still there between Milden and Freeman, and Alerts is now in front of Grace. 10th place. Oh, just over 5 minutes remaining. 3 laps to go. Oh, there's contact there between Freeman and Milden, and they're both off. And that has allowed Alerts and Grace to go through. Freeman gives the position back, and rightly so, but Milden will not be at all happy with that. Milden will be down to 10th place. So Alerts goes up to 8th and Grace is 9th. As it stands in the battle for 5th place in the Drivers' Championship, Law will pick up 38 points and Milden will pick up 22. So Milden will still actually be in front. Borkel is right behind Godefroy. Godefroy has been struggling for the last few laps. I don't know if his tyres have really given up the ghost here. Rose isn't too far behind, but Volkel knows he cannot risk anything. If he gets in a tangle, that is more or less it. Although, having said that, Busov is over 5 seconds behind, and Arsenio is another 6.5 seconds behind. So, Volkel just needs to keep the car on the circuit. If he gets a drive-through, that's it. That's the end of his championship hopes. He'll fall behind Kroos, he'll fall behind Busov, and he'll probably fall behind Kobe Alerts and Morgan Grace as well. Don't think that'll happen, but you never know. Gillen is about to start the penultimate lap of the race. Ends lap 30. Borkel is right behind Godefroy. Godefroy's best finish this season has been 5th, which he's achieved on 3 occasions. He's not finished on the podium at all this campaign. And we've got an off involving the 911. Who's that that's gone off? It's Fernando Ferreira who's gone for a spin in the McLaren, but has continued. Drops down a place, but nothing more. Right, not taking the best of lines through 4 and 5. Race behind Kobe Alerts in the battle for 8th as well. They're going into combat. 4.3 seconds between Vermeulen and Law. Vermeulen on course for 2 wins in a row. The man in your picture is the one we want to be looking at, because Vogel is over a lap away from clinching the championship. And there's a drive-through penalty for Van der Waal for track limits. his car on the circuit now. Van der Waal will drop back. He'll probably go to the end of the race. What he's got there. I think Ferreira's pulling into the pits to retire, unless he wants to get another set of tyres on. But we are in the last lap now. Vermeulen on his way to victory. Just laps Will Rayner. Running in what will be 17th place now. What a job as Vermeulen has done. Untroubled from the start, just like he was in Zolder last week. Not as dominant, as last week he won by over half a minute. Today it's only just the 4 seconds, but not about how big the gap is, it's just about the fact that you've won the race. Godefroy still ahead of Vorkel in the battle for 3rd place. Vorkel won't risk anything here now. He's done everything he needs to have done. Godefroy makes a mistake though. His tyres struggling for grip coming out of turn 6. Down the Mistral straight. Van der Waal coming in to serve his drive-through penalty. Vorkel looking to the outside as a penalty given to Ben Milden. And that could change things in the battle between him and Law for 5th place in the championship. Now, Vorkel is looking to make a move on Godefroy, but he can't do it there. We'll go to the leader because Jared Vermeulen is about to take the checker flag in 1st place. 2 wins in a row and put him in good stead for next season. Craig Law will end his season on a high in P2. Jared Vermeulen coming to the line to win at Paul Ricard in Taco Tuesday in the FRL. Craig Law will finish 2nd, but we'll go to Zdeněk Vorkel, who's behind Jeffrey Godefroy. He's done all he could have done, but Vorkel is going to cross over the line in 4th place, which is enough to give him the championship in Tier 1 in Taco Tuesday. Zdeněk Vorkel is your new champion. Melvin Kroes finishes 5th. Nico Busov in 6th position and 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. Mauro Arsenio in 7th place. He ends up 3rd overall. Jeffrey Godefroy, who's finished on the podium for the first time this campaign, 4th overall in the championship. Kobe Alerts will get in front of Morgan. He's in front of Morgan Grace by a long way, actually. He's dropped back. I think Morgan Grace has dropped back thanks to an issue. I don't know if he's run out of fuel or something, but he's dropped back. Will Freeman is shown in 10th position, but will move up because of Ben Milden's penalty. So Hutchinson and Grace will move up the order. Brandon Glover will move up the order. Petropostel, I think, will just miss out. So he's 14th. Corona in 15th. And Van der Waal is closing up behind, actually, in 16th position after a late drive-through penalty. Will Rayner over the line in 17th place, ahead of Farklop Bissell. Josh Clayton crossing over the line 19th position. Fernando Ferreira will be 20th. Luke Prentice not finishing the race. Neither did Adrian Hanovich, who lost at the beginning, and another driver as well. There is your race winner. It's Jared Vermeulen, who is the winner here at Paul Ricard. But Zdeněk Vorkel is your champion of Taco Tuesday in Tier 1. What a great job he has done all season. Hats off to him. Now we just wait for the final classification to come up. And there you go. Jerry Vermeulen is your race winner by less than 4 seconds. Craig Law 2nd, Jeffrey Godefroy 3rd, Zdeněk Vorkel in 4th and the champion. Melvin Kroes 5th, ahead of Nico Busov and Mauro Arsenio. Kobe Alerts 8th, Will Freeman in 9th, and Stuart Hutchinson running out the top 10. His best result of the season by far. Mon Grace 11th, Brandon Glover 12th, Ben Milden down to 13th after the penalty. Pedro Postel in 14th position, ahead of Caruana in 15th. Van der Waal with his late drive-through penalty dropping into 16th, ahead of Will Rayner. Farglow Pavissel, Josh Clayton and Fernando Ferreira with the rest of the finishers. Sean Cool retired, as did Luke Prentice and Adrian Hanovich. In regards to the championship, Vorkel is your champion with Nico Busov 2nd, Mauro Arsenio 3rd and Jeffrey Godefroy in 4th. The same positions as they were in at the beginning of the night. Now, Ben Milden, who finished in 13th, he collects 18 championship points. Craig Law, who's finished 2nd, he gets 38. Now, in terms of the battle for 5th place, they end up tied on points. Now, Ben Milden has got the same number of race wins, same number of 2nd places, same number of 3rd places, same number of 4th places. But Craig Law has picked up more 7th place finishes than Ben Milden. So because of that, he actually takes 5th place on count back, does Craig Law. So that penalty right at the end for Ben Milden has cost him dear. And 5th place in the championship. Melvin Crowe's 7th in the championship overall. And the others will have picked up the scraps, really. Will Freeman gaining a few positions in the final reckoning as well. He's ended up 9th, I think, overall, or 8th, rather. It might be 8th, or it may be 9th, but the standings will update in due course. Anyhow, in the team's championship, in the manufacturers, McLaren have won it comfortably, no question. So all that remains for me to say is congratulations to Zdeněk Volkel on the championship tonight, taking it by a total of 10 points ahead of his nearest rival Nico Busov, and he'll go into next season as the reigning champion, and maybe with the number 1 on his car, like what Sean Cole did during the course of the season. That wraps up season 10, and I cannot wait for the next championship to begin. In terms of how big the grid will be, we'll find out in due course. If you've been watching us on Twitter, do make sure you react by following and subscribing if you can. If you've been watching us on YouTube on Catch Up, do make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for following us throughout the campaign. And we'll look to do it all again next season in Taco Tuesday. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.